we get started, advise all the public or anybody that gets out of hand or anything be asked to leave or be removed. So, like I said, we're going to keep this civil. There's not a whole lot on the agenda for tonight. So anyway, well, let's go ahead and call this meeting to order at 7 o'clock. First item is pledge allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Next item is approval of August meeting minutes. Entertain a motion to approve the minutes.
Make a motion to approve the meeting minutes.
Have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? If not, all in favor? Next item was approval of June, July, and August financial report. Any council member can make a motion and a second. Call for it one more time. Any member can make a motion. Okay. So move on to old business. Executive of a resolution as to the ARC funds in the bank account, which is CARES Act, that has to be in a separate account. It cannot be mixed with anything else. There's a requirement of the funding from the American Rescue Plan 2000. I think it's already been voted on. We just got out of here without signing this resolution. So I'm going to pass it around and let everybody sign it. Let's do. I can't remember exactly who all voted for it. But next item.
What does that mean?
The CARES Act, the American Rescue Plan.
We have to set up an account to.
Yeah, you have to set up a separate account. It can't be mixed with any other account. So we already voted on that.
Voted on it last month, y'all just forgot to sign.
Okay, event permits, fees. I hadn't had time to work on it. Have you worked on any of it?
Well, I mean, just a little, but I didn't, like, I mean, I wrote some stuff down, but I didn't type it up. I don't know if you want me to wait on that or.
Yeah, we can just wait on that. Flood grant update, just trying to give you all an idea that, you know, we've still not received any funds from FEMA back from what all we spent. So, you know, some of the items that we still like, and we're waiting on some of that money coming back before we buy some of this stuff, is bathroom partitions, flush valves for the bathrooms, bathroom floors, air compressor, and some gravel for some road repairs. I think these are a few more little things, but I think that's the main ticket items. Other than removing the brush and debris. And they're particular about that, so you just can't burn it. If you do, you have to haul it off in a special place and everything else. So anyway, we contacted Jamie Godfrey He was, we had 3 people that quoted it, and anyway, that's about $9,000 to haul that out. It's about 27 loads.
And I had to get a special permit for us to even be pulling it up there.
So,
One thing that I want to mention is, from now on the minutes that y'all approve, I am going to have a signature page for everybody to sign. That way there'll be no misunderstanding about that somebody changed something. So if that, use that and then pass it around.
Okay, under new business, we need to,
Did you want to discuss the storage building?
You missed that.
oh, well, moving the storage building is still been,
Well, they came out Tuesday to move it, but there was a miscommunication in the size of the building. So the guy that got up here, he had, his truck was too small to pull it. So they're gonna contact me and they hope to get it moved next week. But he said, please don't give up on us, we will get it done for you. That's the update.
under new business, there is one item to add, and that's that,
Scenic byway resolution.
yeah, scenic byway resolution. If, there's no objection to that, we'll add it under I. And that's just a vote on, the state's doing it, we don't have anything to do with it, they're just wanting to make sure that, we are agreeing to it. The economic development director had came and discussed that one time. I don't know if it was a council meeting or another meeting, but and I'll pass that around. Did you make everybody a copy, or you just?
No, but they've got to sign it, and on the back of it, I attached a copy of the route. They sent me a map, but this was prepared by the state, it wasn't prepared by me. I just had to fill in a couple of blanks.
So as we go down, if y'all want to look at that, and if y'all don't have a problem, we'll add that at the end there. Okay. The first item is under new business, is vote on the tax increase. We had the public hearings. As far as I know, no one showed up, is that right, for all 3 of those?
And we've had no objections, so.
So like I say, tonight we need to vote to increase 2021, is that right?
Yes,
Tax increase from 1 mil to 2 mil.
no, we're actually increasing it from the 3 mil to 4 mil, and you're rolling back 2. So it's doubling the taxes.
So like they rolling back, and from 3 to 4 and then rolling back 2. And that's got to do with getting some of the splosh or lost.
You have to give a rollback in order to qualify for the local option sales tax.
So if I entertain a motion to increase that taxes from 3 to 4 and roll back 2 to 2.
Make a motion that we increase the taxes to 3 to 4 mils and roll back 2.
We have a second.
I second.
I have a motion second. Any other discussion? If not, all in favor? Okay. All right. The next item is just to give you an update. I've been talking to Rick Jasperse about this town flooding. I actually, I don't think he believed me until I walked up the creek where Mill Creek and Talking Rock Creek meet. And Talking Rock Creek wasn't muddy at all, and Mill Creek was like a river, and it was muddy and stuff. So he called me, because he sort of didn't believe me and stuff, but anyway, after I sent him that, he called me, and he said that he would get to Limestone Valley and start working on that. You know, like I say, we don't know exactly where it's coming from, off of Wildcat Timber up at Mill Creek or Hobson Creek area. But anyway, he's looking into it. We also talked about this bridge out here, which is actually a box culvert. It's not really a bridge. He has contacted DOT, and he says maybe 2 years, but I wouldn't look for it for 5-10 years maybe. I don't know. But anyway, he's aware of it because the box culvert catches the debris against the bridge, and then it backs up and then floods. And that's what caused some of it. But the erosion upstream is really causing the problem. Growing up here, and I know Kenny, I know you've been here, you know, for a good while. I don't remember the creek getting up as often. I talked to Joey, and he said the same thing. It hasn't been, but here lately it's getting up there. And like I say, I mean it could flood next week. I mean it's just getting more often. So I've done all I can do as far as get with our representative, which is Rick Jasperse. He sits on the DOT board. So he's working on it. So I'm going to give him a little bit of time to do that and see where we can go with that. So like I say, that's all we can do as far as preventing it, because there's no way, because like I say, it's coming from upstream, and there's nothing the town can do to stop that other than just talking. So that's just some information that I did talk to him, and hopefully, you know, maybe one of these days. Heritage Days, you know, they canceled the Marble Festival. They had the Jeep Fest, so I think, you know, the consensus everybody is still have the Heritage Days. I think Mark talked to y'all over the weekend about hosting it over in the park.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Great idea.
Because we don't have the sponsorship, and we wouldn't be shuttling people. They would be walking. So we're not confining people to a shuttle or a bus. Should save us a little bit of money. Still would like to do one deputy here at Old Blyersville and 136 here to assist people crossing, you know, trying to, you know, make it a little bit more safe, but then we wouldn't be blocking the streets, and then the businesses would still have parking for their businesses and stuff, and we'd have a crosswalk over there to lead this way. So I think it was a great idea, especially with the sponsorships and stuff, not being here this year, as you know, due to COVID and stuff. So that's just an update. It's not nothing to vote on. So just
And in defense of the Chamber of Commerce about why the reason I was told why they canceled the Marble Festival was, number one, they had problems trying to get the supplies that they needed to pull it off. Number two, the marble companies did not want the buses coming down there, and most of their money comes off of those tours where everybody's jam-packed on those buses. So that was two of the things that made them decide to cancel it. It wasn't just the people in the park, it was other.
Couldn't get four-wheelers either for the workers couldn't get four-wheelers for the people.
Right.
There's a lot of.
And we're having that problem with ours too, so.
Yeah.
But that was just why they did it.
just a sewer update. Met with Candy and Christie and an engineer a month or so ago. Just trying to get an idea of some kind of sewer thing. We came up that we needed about 10 acres of land to do what they want to do and what we want to do. So I think they've talked to Jeff, you a little bit about that.
Yeah, I mean, you can you're allowed to do a land swap with someone. You just have to have the property surveyed and appraised, and you have to advertise it, but the values of the property have to be equal in order to
Right.
do that.
Well, then that brings, I mean, that's another issue there, but, the main issue, that, you know, the Georgia changed the law, my understanding, talking to the engineer, that of how you can use the engineer, to come up with a plan. I mean, I'm not, I didn't totally understand, but it was like,
Yeah, that I don't know.
well, that's what he was saying. That was one thing that Kenji and Christie was going to talk to you about.
That I'm not aware of.
But the engineer had brought it up that he couldn't lay it out or design it and bid on the work too or something. I like I say, I wasn't 100% sure. I was hoping that y'all talked and
No,
give us
we talked about how to find, sufficient land, not really about that.
Which is really the first step anyway.
But for people that don't know, if you go to No Pickens YouTube and type in Talking Rock Town Council meetings, if you go to March of 2018, you'll see that we had turnip seed engineering come up, and you'd be shocked at what they said it was, and it was a drip system. I thought it was actually a sewer system, but it was a drip system just like what we talking about. And I know there's some more grants and stuff available since then, but most of it was 50-50 grants. And back then, for 15 homes, and I think it was, I think Steve, you was in that meeting, it was years ago, but it was $1 million, and that was for a drip system using this property up here. And for 15 homes, it was $150 a month per home, and you couldn't make anybody sign up on it other than you. Say if they build a house or something, you could, but you couldn't. So it'd be interesting if y'all want to watch that. That I've been working, trying to get this for years, but it's just like me and another resident was talking. This town is not big enough and designed for grants because it's 90% of or 99% of them is matching. So if you get 300,000, you got to match 300,000. So it's hard to do, especially with the tax base that we get, because we can't use anything else other than tax base to do that. So like I say, we're still in the process. I'll reach out to find out what that engineer was talking about on that. Not saying that we need the 10 acres all together, but if Candy does what she's wanting to do out there, he's saying that we need 10 acres. So we can get a system and use 2 acres for now. Say like if we got 10 acres from her or 5 acres or whatever it came out to be, we can use 2 acres, and as the town grows and stuff, we can add to that system, and we can do what they call either cost of construction aid. I don't know if that's still legal. I know Jasper uses it. Like if a developer puts in a system and then you add to it, then that developer pays to add on to the system. Now that's the way the city of Jasper works. I don't know if it's still legal or not, but anyway. But like I say, it's just a uphill battle to try to get some kind of sewer thing down here because we just don't have the funds to match it. So we've got to figure out how to do that. But we got to come up with what we want first before we can even price the system out. So like I say, they came up with 10 acres, just talking, and she's already got the survey and topo map and some other stuff that the engineer needed. So they're supposed to be back and forth, and they've been talking to Jeff about land swap and stuff, or how we could be partners in that, so like I say, we're working on it. Like I say, it's just a long, uphill battle.
One thing, Randy, Tony, you had reached out and had said that Green Settles had given you this contact information.
Well,
Well-
yeah, he told me that that wasn't gonna work out.
Right, because I reached out to her and she called the same people that I had already called that before I talked to you and was trying to explain to you. And we have the checklist and it all has to be in order before they will even consider giving you any money.
You know, like I said, I don't know if we're still the third smallest town in Georgia, but at one time, I seen a
We
video.
were the third, yeah.
But
I don't know if we still are.
But everything designed is, as I was talking to one of the residents that used to be with DOT and was with Pickens County, worked for Pickens County and stuff. Everything is not designed for this small town. I mean, the problem is the grants, any kind of, they just don't want a city this small. I mean, that's just basically it. I mean, we don't have a tax base, we don't have anything, to offer. I mean, like I say, we go up on these taxes and, we're getting about $8 grand, $8, $9 grand, depends on, who builds a house and it goes up. But it's just not there. I mean, it's difficult. It's very difficult to get. Now we can handle, $100,000 grant and stuff if we can match it with volunteers and workforce and stuff like that. But as far as coming out of pocket, $30,000, $40,000, I mean, I just don't know how we're going to do it. But I'm not going to stop trying until somebody says that you're out of options. I mean, because that's one of the things I wanted. It was, especially for people that had smaller lots here in town, because one day these septic systems are going to fail and then we're out of luck. Because we don't have any room to do anything. So like that, there's got to be maybe a solution out there, but we just got to find it. We just got to keep looking and find it, and hope one day that we come up with something. Any other comments on that? I mean, I just, like I say, I want it, bad too, but we just got to figure out.
The land swap, you're saying that the town would have to swap land with them, or what?
Well, that's just a way to acquire property. If you needed a particular piece of property to do something on and you couldn't just outright buy it, then the only other option would be to swap some other land. I don't know how much land, if any, the town has.
Well, that's not going to work because we only own 2 acres. But the thing about it was that this up here wasn't going to do what all we needed to do. So Chrissy suggested that we do some land swap or something. That's why she was talking to Jeff. But, with Jeff saying that we had to swap dollar for dollar, her 10 acres is going to be worth a lot more than our 2 acres. So, now I don't know, like I say, I don't know if we could swap, because I think we could get by with 2 acres to start with and swap that, and then later on when we needed that other, maybe we had money to buy it or something. I don't know. That's a lot of what ifs, and everything has to fall in place. But even Turnip Seed back in 2018 said it would be cheaper if you had a gravity than force main up the hill to that 2 acres. So, like I say, it's just, we'll keep trying. We'll keep trying to come up with something. There's money's out there. It's just, you can't go ask for $1 million without having a plan. They're not going to give you $1 million on a blank check without having some kind of plan. And so we did determine that we needed 10 acres if she wants to do all she wants to do. So that is a little bit of a plan to get started. But I need to find out what that engineer was talking about and let him get with Jeff or call Jeff or something and find out what exactly he's talking about, because the state just had passed that in the last couple of years. So any Any other comments on that? Okay. Cheryl wanted to read the letter to the council.
This letter is from me to the council. This letter is an attempt to clarify information that has been sent to council members and citizens concerning interference into the duties as town clerk. This interference created duplication of work and expense to the town. Everybody keeps talking about the office supply, and now they're going out questioning the citizens about, have I taken those office supplies home with me? I can assure you, what paper clips and paper I need, I can surely afford it. That is not the case. I have answered questions about the expenses. Andrea reminded me that I had explained to everybody what that $900 was for. We had to buy a brand new printer because the other one just flat out quit. I went by the manufacturer, did the maintenance update that they requested, it still would not work. So they recommended they had nothing else that they knew to do. I had even talked to James about that, but I made the point to tell y'all what that was for because I knew that there would be questions. But apparently the other people don't understand. I have to buy toner. Every time y'all ask for more copies, that's toner, that's paper, that it costs the town to do. And I try very hard to keep it down. Now, I reached out to the statewide town and city clerk network, and according to the over 100 responses I got, no one provides all receipts. Their reason was that their councils felt it was time consuming and the cost involved in doing so. And a statement was made in an email that was sent to the council, and you are not asked each month to approve a budget that is yearly. Only the monthly checks and deposits. You are provided a check register printout that has each check, each deposit made for each month. I usually do not have the monthly bank statement that coincides with that printout by the meeting of the first Thursday. Here it is tonight. I still do not have the bank statement for the operating account. I have it for the other three, but not the operating account. Checked at 5 o'clock today to make sure. The bank accounts, the town council approved myself, Randy, and Jeremiah Stone to sign the checks. We have a yearly audit, even though state only requires every 2 years for a municipality our size. That's the overseeing of these accounts. They check that, check by check, receipt by receipt. And years ago, I approached the council when I was mayor that I didn't like it being every 2 years. I wanted it every year so that was just 12 months that we could catch anything that was wrong. Now, the interference into my day-to-day duties include multiple people calling concerning issues which creates confusion on the state and local level. When someone calls other than the mayor or myself, the first thing those folks do is call myself or Randy. And if they can't get Randy, they call me and say, hey, can you give him a message to call me? Because they want clarification. Now, Tony, you jumped to the conclusion when the FEMA inspector came out and was looking at the bathrooms over there, and you thought that he was here to see about who had paid to move those bathrooms. That was not the case. I had already got that clear. That was, well, this came from Andrew. I had already got the cost of moving the bathrooms. He was just here because I was pleading with them to pay for fixing the damage to the floors, which they are going to do because he came out and did that. Now, well, Andrew also said that you claimed that you had paid for moving the bathrooms. I don't know what was said between you two. All I know is at the time that he was here, the invoice and the canceled check for the $1,000 to Mr. Chumley to help pay for moving those bathrooms was already cleared and in there with them. So yeah, you know, it takes a lot of extra time to do this. And another example is when, and I know you were trying to help, don't get me wrong, I understand that. But when you called Georgia Department of Transportation about the ditch in front of Shadow Creek, it created a big issue. Because you didn't ask them to come out on a Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday, which is what I normally do if I call them. Simply because I didn't want them to know about all the cars that are parked on the state right-of-way. That's their property. So when they came out that day, they started taking pictures. And so they've got pictures of all these cars that are not pulled in all the way, and their back ends are sticking out in the road, and their word was that causes a liability issue for them, and it's also a safety hazard. And the way they're parked, people can't see to pull out from Tolona Street. That's why I've always called them and tried to get them to come out on those first 3 days because the stores weren't open. Now they are aware of that, and they're also aware that that septic tank, I had not divulged to them about that septic tank being on their right of way, simply because I didn't want to create problems. Well, now they know. And
You
so,
seriously don't think DOT has ever gone down that road when cars were parked there before? The guy told me it didn't matter. I specifically asked him if it mattered if those cars were parked there. He said, no, it doesn't. Cars are
Tony,
okay.
they asked me to take pictures and send to them every week.
Well, maybe it's
That's
bad
what
you
they
said
want.
that.
I'm not gonna argue, all I'm doing is making a statement on what I was told by GDOT, because I'm
That's all I
tired of the
did.
emails going out and saying that I didn't do this or I had a problem with that. So, I'm just telling you, that's what it is. Now,
Are
as
we gonna hit these
to,
one at a time, or are you just gonna,
I don't expect any response. All I'm doing
you
is
don't want a
making,
response?
I'm making my statement, okay? That's all I'm doing. I'm not arguing with anybody. I'm not saying GDOT told you this or told you that.
So I can't say
All I'm
anything
doing-
like they've been trying for 2 years to get it out there and nobody's ever done anything, so I went ahead and did it? You don't want me to say anything like that?
They had been called before, Tony.
Yeah, and I
But
got them out there, and the guy
scheduled a
said,
search.
All right,
All right, I'm not arguing about it. All right, also,
How much longer?
just a minute. Also, the email stated that there was concerns about our relationship with county offices. The three that you named, the tax commissioner and tax assessor, I had just finished working with them for 2 or 3 weeks to get this tax increase done. I called them and I said, guys, do we have a problem? Well, no, Cheryl, you know better. Called the Chamber of Commerce. They said, well, if we had a problem with you, we wouldn't have asked you to volunteer for the Marble Festival. They said they didn't have a problem with me. So those are the ones, I mean, I volunteered for these people, and yeah, I have an issue with Mr. Stansel, only to the point that he didn't fulfill his campaign promises. Now, that does not stop me from working with him on any other project, and he knows that. The people in his office, I have no problem with whatsoever, okay? But sending out these emails insinuating that I don't have a good working relationship with these offices is untrue, because I do. I know I do. I mean, I don't understand where that's
I
coming
don't think
from.
there's a problem.
And-
Anybody in
well-
any of those offices has any problem with you at all.
No. I have family, and at tax commissioner's office, I have a godchild that works there. And I talked directly to Rebecca Prather, who is the deputy commissioner, and I
Tax
said,
assessor's office.
do you have a problem? And I spoke directly to Roy Dobbs. I said, Roy, do we have a problem? No, we don't, because I work with them every year on the taxes. Now, my last statement is this. After 25 years, I know protocol and have numerous contacts with state and local. Now, let me do my job that the majority of the citizens, that includes some in Meadowlands, in this town have trusted Randy and I to do for over 25 years. That's just my statement. You can take it what it
Well,
is.
that's
Just
fine.
like what you sent in
And
was
I
your
think the
statement.
whole problem, I'm sorry to get sensitive, because I never said anything about you taking any stuff home. But the fact of the matter
No,
is,
but,
did I? Have you ever heard me say that?
no, but.
Did any of my emails accuse you of anything?
No.
Did
but
any of my emails get
A
answered?
citizen
No.
reported.
Did
That
any
it
of
was
my,
stated.
did any of
I
my
didn't say you
emails
did
get
it.
answered? Did any of my emails request bank statements or receipts? Are you aware of the Georgia Open Records Act, that if I
I am.
request those things, they must be given in 3 days under the law. So instead of doing that, you would rather break the law than actually show proof of what you're saying. That's what you're telling me.
No, I'm not breaking the law.
Did you
I have
give
given
me an
you,
excuse?
I have given
Okay,
you,
let's end it right there. Let's end it right there, okay. So we'll discuss something right here and then we'll mention one other thing for next month and then we'll adjourn. Okay, the scenic byway. Everyone's got to look at that. Everybody is agreeing with that. So I'm gonna read this resolution. Whereas the Pickens County Chamber and Development Authority of Pickens County has identified a route that follows Highway 136, Jones Mountain, and Burnt Mountain roads, which contains significant scenic, natural, historical, cultural, archaeological, or recreational qualities. Whereas the Pickens County Chamber and Development Authority of Pickens County is seeking to gain Georgia Scenic Byway designation for the route from Georgia Department of Transportation, whereas the town of Tallgrant has advised on the details of the Scenic Byways program, the proposed byway, and the benefits of the designee. Whereas the route will support the objectives of this body and protect and promote, enhance, and interpret the outstanding qualities of Talking Rock and county. Whereas in the city, Scenic Byways program is a tool to encourage tourism and responsibility development, bringing positive economic benefits, opportunities to the community. Now therefore be resolved that the town of Tallgrant have met and considered the matter in open session on September 9th, 2021, hereby fully endorses the designation application for the proposed Almacola Falls Scenic Byway. Further, the town of Tallgrant, in its endorsement of the application, acknowledges the efforts of Pickens County Chamber and Development Authority of Pickens County in the undertaking this project and will support the completion of the designation process. The town of Tallgrant understands this designation fits with our long-range tourism and economic goals. Alright, you read that. Do I have a motion for this resolution?
I make a motion to accept the resolution.
To join the scenic Almacola Falls Scenic Byway. Do I have a second?
Get that, like in layman's terms real quick, what that meant? So, they're not building anything, they're just designating and.
Yes, a route, 136.
And to what benefit?
They
For
will,
tourism.
yeah, for tourism. What they'll do is they'll create a map that will be available to the public and according to what, they've been working on this for years too. According to what we were originally told was there will be information about different stops along the way that is included in that map.
Gotcha.
And so they've been working on this for a while.
Gotcha.
It's a good thing for us because they will include us on it.
Second.
Okay. So we have a motion second. Any other discussion? If not, all in favor? Okay. All right, next item, or just talk about until next month. I don't want to speak because Andrew's not here, but if the council wants to have a work session to discuss these items as far as receipts and so forth, it has to come before the council. I mean, the council has to vote on it and stuff. But the only thing I request is that each member of this council be present. I mean, I think it's important that each one of y'all are here during that. You know, if one of y'all not here or two of y'all not here or whatever, I just don't think we need to have it. I think every one of y'all needs to be here. If y'all are requesting this, then every one of y'all need to make sure y'all are here. Now, it's not going to be a 1 hour thing and it ain't going to be a 2 hour thing. We're going to sit right here and those receipts will go through and they won't leave this building because, you know, But like I say, I mean, if we copy every receipt and everything over the last, year and stuff, I mean, we, toner and paper and everything else, so I mean, we would have to do it here, and to be honest with you, I've started a new job, so, I mean, it needs to be as early as possible or on Saturday, because I have to get up at 2 o'clock in the morning to go to my job. So, y'all can think about it, and then next month, if everybody needs to be here so they can vote on, what day they want to have it on, and everybody needs to be here. I think it's very important that if y'all are asking these questions, that everybody be here and go over those and put this to rest.
That's what we're gonna have to do.
Well, I mean, I agree, but I need to make sure y'all are committed. I mean, that y'all, I mean, it's gonna be a long process. It's not gonna be, 30 minutes or an hour. So, I mean, y'all need to make sure, and it really needs to be on a Saturday, and the reason I say that is because I need to, because some of that is y'all requesting me, so I need to be there, and like I said, I mean.
We're not questioning anybody. I'm not even saying you're doing anything wrong. I'm just saying all the stuff we have here does not add up. It didn't add up. You redid everything. When you redid everything, you started on April 30th. You started with a different number on April 30th than you
And I
originally had on
explained-
April
and I-
30th, and there was nothing
I'm not
that
gonna argue
gave
about
that
it.
discrepancy.
Here's the thing, at the last meeting,
No.
I made the offer for them to make an appointment, and I would be glad to
No,
go over it.
We tried to make
Nobody.
an appointment.
Okay, all right, we're not arguing here. We're not gonna
I'm
argue.
not, I'm
All
done.
right? So all we're gonna do is, we're gonna sit down here, and we're gonna go over this stuff as a group, and then we can close this book once we're all. But like I say, everybody has to be. Y'all agree with that?
No, I have a question.
Okay.
Is this, so you said everybody has to be there, is that your wish or is that outlined in our charter?
Well, I mean, to me, so I mean,
I'm asking, Mayor, is it
Well,
in
I
our
mean,
charter or is this
no,
what
it's,
you're requesting?
this is what I'm requesting because
Okay,
y'all
so
are,
that's a difference.
I mean,
need to
I'm just
We need
requesting.
to understand what it says in the charter for working groups. So you just made a statement publicly that in order for us to do a working group, every council member has to be here. Is that what you just
Well,
said?
it needs to be because, I mean.
Is that what it
y'all-
says in the charter?
No, it doesn't
So
say.
is that what
anything-
you're saying?
It doesn't say anything about work session.
If we had a correct charter, it would outline how we conduct effectively.
You have a
working groups.
correct charter.
We
Show me where it
requested
says-
that
show me where it
You
says-
have it at home, I'm not gonna make another copy, it's in that big book of the town code,
Now,
on the
you
front
do
of the
have
front
a
of
copy
it.
because Bud
Yes.
will give you a copy. Now,
Okay,
Bug and Tony doesn't have a copy, but you should have a copy.
But what Randy is saying is that those that are questioning these
Why
receipts
is,
need to be here to go over them.
Mayor, I can hear it from you, you can explain it to me,
Well-
not the town clerk.
Well, like I say, I'm asking because y'all are requesting to go over it.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I need to be there, and I think each and every one of y'all need to be there to go over this. I mean, do y'all not think that, y'all need to be there? Because,
I don't think necessarily everybody needs to be there.
No, not at all. But I want to do it officially how it states, and I'll go back
Do it
and look at
legally.
my book, yeah.
well, there's nothing on work session.
Well, see, we need to make, that's how we effectively grow as we're managing this town. We see a deficit there, we should make a motion to create that, to do working groups, because we don't do working groups.
Well, we tried that, we tried that, and then everybody else didn't
Just
show
making it
up.
Nobody
public
showed
that
up.
we don't do working groups.
But,
But I
But-
think to say that everybody needs to be there, I mean, 4 of us or 5 of us are gonna show up and one person not there, so we're all gonna disband, and that doesn't make sense to me.
well, I think this is important, I think this is a major thing that y'all are asking for.
Stop
And,
saying he said, she
you know,
said.
Yes, I mean, that,
Well, it is a major thing, because all these numbers should add up.
all right.
There's no, I
Okay,
think
so,
everybody agrees on that, and they do
so if
not.
it's that important to everybody, which it seems to be because nobody's doing this,
Well, I mean,
going
from the
on.
emails, you told me it's only important to me and James.
Yeah.
So
Well,
I guess me and
it
James
is.
can just be there,
Well-
and that was your email.
Well, I mean, I can go ahead and show you right here that here's a letter that went out, and I know, some of these residents behind you, I mean, I understand that. But these are 20-something names of residents here. Now, I didn't go in the Meadowlands because, you know, couldn't go in there. But this is a statement here that, you know, all the residents does not believe that we took any money or improperly spent any money.
I never said that. I never said
Who's
that either.
accused you that?
Never
That's
said
not
that.
it.
Never once said
Randy.
that, not in an
Okay.
email, not in person, no
Okay.
one said that.
You asked the town council to approve the monthly financial statements.
They don't add up.
Starting in April, they did not add up. The
Well,
members of the
And
town
all
council
we've proven
asked
is
us
that Cheryl can go in and
to
change
review
them
those.
and make them
That's
match
it.
something else, that's all she did.
Again, you allege that you've been accused of inappropriate, that's not the case.
Well, you said, and I'm
Go
not gonna
back
get
and
into
look at
that.
the video
I'm
from
not gonna
last
get,
month.
I'm not gonna get
It's
into
plain as
that.
Who did that? You said I said that.
Well,
I've never said that.
well, anyway. Anyway, like I said, I think it's
I mean,
important.
it does raise my eyebrows that for some reason we've requested stuff and it gets denied, even though you both know it's the law that you were supposed to give it to us. That raises my eyebrows a little bit, but that could just be,
Who's
You know,
willing to
that-
pay for the time and the expense of printing all of this stuff
there's
out?
like 40 receipts a month. That's not a
asking
big
for all
deal.
the
I can
bags.
scan all that stuff in 2 hours for the whole year probably. You don't have to copy it, there's no toner, you can scan it in. I'll show you how to use that $900 printer.
I
I
know
got
how
one
to
that's
use
about a third of
it.
that
Okay,
money,
no,
but I can do all
no,
that
no.
with it.
Now, listen, we're not getting into that. We're discussing whether or not we're gonna have this meeting now. Now, we're not getting into he said, she says anymore, all right? So, like I said, I mean, I think it's very important because of everybody being here. I mean, I think it is. If y'all don't think it's important to be here then, you know, I don't understand that.
Randy, we didn't
I
say
think it's
that.
important to be here.
Well, I mean, I think it's important.
I'm trying to understand.
Seems like you're making it hard to do, is what it seems like you're trying to
You're
do.
setting the conditions for it, and I'm trying to understand where that's coming from. Is that coming from you? Is that how it's been established?
I'm just requesting it. I'm just requesting that everybody be there.
I will review. Cheryl produced the statements from the bank. I'll review it from the statements that were emailed me since last year. I'll look at those things, and then I'll come back as a council member and make a motion.
Okay.
I do have a couple other questions, if you don't mind. As a council member.
Okay.
Thank you. How do we officially put things on the agendas for each month?
You contact the town clerk and get it before the Monday before the meeting.
Okay, all right, thank you. And so anything, any topic, if one of the council members or anybody wants to talk about something, they just contact the town clerk, we'll put it on the agenda. Okay, and then, are we
After
established?
it's approved by the mayor.
No, it doesn't have to be approved the mayor. I mean, I don't understand, I mean, anybody can put,
Yeah, because I'm just curious of how we do the agenda each month. I had recommended some things to talk for the agenda. I know Tony has as well, and I haven't seen those yet, so I was just curious.
well.
But I'll officially do it.
Well, you know, I'll be honest with you, you know, that, you know, the way we left it last month and you accused and you did, and I'm just not gonna argue, but I'm saying, you accused of us.
I don't understand what this has to do with putting things on the agenda.
Well, but I was upset and I didn't want to talk to you. I mean, I didn't want to talk to
Are you gonna
anybody
answer
because
you're gonna
Yeah,
tell me
well-
how we add things to the
No.
agenda? You did.
that's what I did. I
Okay,
just
great,
did.
that's all I needed, sir. That's
So-
it, thank you.
So,
And then working groups, how do we establish working groups? How does that officially work? Do we have to make a motion?
you have to make a motion to
Okay.
have one.
All right. Okay. Oh, Tony, when you made the call to the DOT, did you do that as a business owner or as a council member?
Well, I did that to help them out. Did that as a citizen, I guess.
Citizen?
Help them out because they said they've been trying for years to get something done over there.
Now,
and
wait a minute,
Nothing
now,
ever happens.
now, Mark Grizzle came over there and worked in front of your store with his tractor. Did he not?
He scraped a little bit of
Yeah,
gravel,
well, I mean-
that was it. He did not correct.
Well, it looked good,
The
but
problem.
not correct.
It looked good for a week or two, all he did
Well, I
was
didn't hear
scrape
anything
some
else
gravel,
about
and
it,
you could ask
so.
Mark. He
So.
scraped some
Oh, I know,
gravel,
I seen him over there.
but he did not correct an engineering problem.
I was just curious if you did, as a council member or business owner.
I did it, I don't know, I just did it. I didn't tell him I was a council member or anything.
Okay. That's it, sir, thank you.
One other thing before we go, as far as last week, there was clearly a forum and it got canceled. And I wanted to know, for one thing, is that legal to know there's a quorum and to cancel it and say there's not a quorum? Or why that might have happened?
I think traditionally here, when someone has, I guess, discovered that there's not going to be a quorum, they've notified everybody that the meeting's not going to happen. I've seen that a number of times.
But when there is a quorum and they say that there's not a quorum, there was a quorum last week and we got a message individually that there was not a quorum.
And I
That just seems a
explained,
little shady to me.
The code and charter don't actually have anything about canceling
So that's
meetings.
fine.
It just says you have a regular monthly meeting. I looked to see if there's anything about who can cancel a meeting. Some codes and charters say, here's how you cancel a meeting. Yours says absolutely nothing. So there's no guidance about doing that at all.
So you don't even necessarily have
But
to have a
Tony-
quorum.
No, I mean, it would, traditionally it'd be useful for everybody to show up if you know that there's not gonna be one, which has happened. So, but there's no procedure for canceling a meeting. I mean, if you really followed this to its absolute letter, you'd all just show up and see if there were a quorum or not. Now, I mean, that's probably a waste of everybody's time, but this doesn't say anything about
I'm just
canceling a meeting.
curious. It just didn't sound right.
You been canceled
well,
before?
I explained to James that I misunderstood Melissa because, and I can show you, my phone was messed up. I could not send or respond to a group text like I normally do. So I had to reach out to them individually. I even had to reach out to Melissa via Facebook Messenger, and then she didn't get the message. So it was totally my fault. I admit it, but it was a mistake. I did not do it intentionally. Well, I know, but I just want you to understand. And also, the timing of it was that because we were having the public hearing tonight, or was supposed to have, Progress goes home at 5 o'clock. So I needed to make sure that that was on their website so that we could legally have that public hearing tonight. That was my rush, was to make sure that I got it out before the Progress closed down for the night. And I admit it's my fault, my mistake. So,
That's fine.
All right, any other discussion?
How do we officially make requests? We have to officially send it to your email, the mayor at Talking Rock? Is that it?
Well, and that's a good question that brings up because, any email that y'all use for town business, whether it's your personal or it's your business or whatever, that's subject to open records request.
Awesome.
I mean, I just want you to know that because I know that you send some stuff from your, business. I guess. I mean, I guess it is. I mean, I'm not 100% sure. But,
So what's that got to do with verifying that we sent it to the mayor's office?
well, I'm just saying, yeah, to send it to
Okay.
the mayor.
And so you will respond if emails are sent to the mayor of Talking Rock, correct?
If they're, because, yes.
You will?
From
Yes,
now
I will.
Okay.
But, there's a lot of questions, and I know y'all have brought them up, and you can look at the, I forgot what, last year, I think it was sometime, but anyway, I'll bring that up. Some questions about me being the maintenance contractor for here and hiring a person to help me. That's all legit. Everybody's had a person helping them.
I think that was a very valid question. Not being, I love
Well,
Jerry,
I
thank
mean,
you. But I mean, my point was, I was be afraid, insurance-wise, that if something happens to Jerry, he's not on the payroll for the
Well,
city
no,
at
I'm
all.
not either.
And
No,
so
no.
therefore, our liability will not, I mean, if they get hurt or something, it's on them, it's not on us.
And that's every,
Maybe, maybe not, I'm not so sure that's exactly correct.
We did.
If they get hurt doing town business and you say the town's not
No,
responsible?
no, 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 no. If they were an employee of
it's
the
a
town,
contract.
but it's a contract with them. That's
But
the reason
Jerry doesn't
why
have a contract. He's working for the town.
he's
No,
working
no,
in
he's
conjunction
working
with
for me.
Randy. So if he wanted to sue anybody, he'd have to sue Randy, not us. Believe me, I went through this with our insurance company when we started all this contract stuff.
Well, I just had to do I've done a lot of workman's comp stuff, and believe me, my provider would kill me if I was doing something like this. It would be.
But they are your
Maybe, I mean, maybe, it was actually a valid concern.
One of the other questions was, we voted to increase that service, the cost.
Right.
And the assumption wasn't fact. The assumption that I had seen was because for you to adequately do the maintenance, it would take that price. That's why we voted it.
Well, now,
I was not assuming at that time you were gonna be, I call it subcontracting. I thought you would be.
well, now,
That wasn't clarified during that vote, so.
okay, now, everybody after John Quinton has had somebody helping them. I mean, Joey Lyle, when he done it, he had 2 people helping him. Chad Emery had somebody helping him. Jamie Gravely had a company and he
Had
had
four helping him.
helping him. And you know, and I'm telling you, you know,
I'm not saying it's not wrong, I mean, we just,
well, but it's.
we just wanna make sure that everything's covered, and, you know, it's not, there's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah, and it's not question what you do, it's, we're using the town's revenue to pay that service.
Right, but
I think it's,
but you know, do you know how much like my lawnmower costs to do the town maintenance? $10,000. So I mean, you know, but I have to furnish everything. I mean, I furnish everything. So.
my comments to you in an email that you did not respond to stated that I think we owe the citizens of the town to be able to do a checks and balances, because I can't validate what you do. I've only approved for you to provide services. I can't validate what you do in any given month. It's just assumed that you do it because you get paid every single month. But I don't, how do I know what you do? How does?
Well, all you gotta do is come down here and we'll ride around and I'll show you what.
So that's not the official answer, so.
Well, no, I mean,
So,
you know, I'll
You
show
would
you.
not use that answer if you were being audited. So for audited purposes, I think, and if it's not that right now, I think we should make a motion for that. And initially, we'd make a motion for that to utilize and show what those invoices are for your services rendered. Is there a problem with that, to make a motion to see what an invoice would be for service rendered? We just relook and negotiate the contract.
Can I ask a question? Isn't it, I mean, I'm not an accountant, but isn't it a contract?
Yes,
Yeah.
it's a contract.
And you maintain right here where I live and all this,
Mhm.
the downtown.
Yeah, it's a contract.
So how could you be audited?
Exactly.
You mow the lawn.
I mean, you know, I don't know if, I don't know.
And all the people on that
Oh.
list that Randy has will vouch for the work he does.
It,
It is, I just want to make it public. It is not about Randy doing it or not doing it. That's not what I'm saying. It should
Well-
be documented.
Sounds like it.
It should be documented what the services have been completed in a given month, because you're getting paid for those services. That is all. And if we don't have that now, we should, I think we should make an motion to establish that, because I can't, there's no documentation that shows what you really did.
There's a contract. I mean,
So on this contract, and I'm sure I've seen it, but you know, it's been a year or whatever,
Mhm.
does it stipulate and say on there, you're doing this, 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 and this, and
yes,
this?
Yes.
every street's listed and the
Yeah.
time whenever, how many times a month it's supposed to be done. And it even includes, when the trash is supposed to be emptied, when the bathrooms are supposed to be cleaned, it even includes putting up and taking down the Christmas decorations and doing all the stuff for Heritage Day.
That's all he's asking
All
for.
of
He's
that
not
is on
asking
there.
for you to get heated about it. He's asking for that. Can we have that?
Well, but
Not a
I've already
problem. All we're
explained
doing
to
is
him,
asking for it.
I mean,
Well-
I'm sorry.
Just a
but-
copy
mean,
of
we're
the
not-
contract.
We're not
that
trying to
shows
get Randy in
us
trouble.
exactly
We're not trying to do
Well-
anything. We're just,
And
Well,
so we-
I mean, I'll be honest with you,
But-
and I tried to keep out of this right here, but I'm telling you, ever since that you've come on this board, and that you've not got what you wanted, you've started in on us about
what have I asked
everything.
for? What, again?
About the table,
What have I asked for?
about the tables and chairs.
Greg, will you speak
The
up?
tables and chairs you promised me, you just lied about it. I didn't ask for them.
I didn't lie about
You
it.
told me I could have them.
Okay,
And so I said, well, can I have that in writing? You're like, well, nah, I changed.
no.
So I didn't ask for them. You offered them to me if I put the fans up. I put the fans up. You then told me that I couldn't have them. I didn't ask for them. You offered them. Tell me the truth, Randy. Is that how it happened or not?
No, I told you.
So I asked for them. You didn't say, you didn't volunteer them for
How are
me.
we going?
I asked for it.
Where is this going?
Let's just.
Is that the truth, Randy? Tell me the
Well-
truth. Is that how it happened?
Like I say, we'll just,
Let's not go.
That's what I thought.
That's where we,
Yeah.
last meeting was,
Yeah.
I thought we were kinda
Yeah.
smooth.
Well, he accused me of something that I clearly didn't do, and he knows I didn't do it. He knows I did not ask for those tables and chairs. He offered them to me if I put the fans up. I put the fans up, then I asked for them, and he said, you can't have them.
I mean,
That's how that went.
Because he
That
has
may be
lied
good
about
for
the
you, Greg,
rule,
but-
about
I
the
mean, I get it.
surplus.
I didn't say why, he said no, I just saying.
Well,
Okay.
you need to explain that.
Alright, so anyway, we're gonna adjourn. So, motion adjourn,
I'm motion adjourned.
okay. Thank you.